Chairman. There's no good or evil with energy sources because every energy source carries distinctly different positives and negatives. Developing a new energy system from the ground up is proving to be an impossible task for policymakers. While solar power promises to deliver an endless supply of clean energy, high costs and other environmental concerns are raising significant problems. State mandates like California's Renewable Portfolio Standard have led to small amounts of growth in the solar energy sector, but that growth is already being hindered by environmental concerns. Last week, Bright Source Energy was forced to give up its plan to build a 5,130-acre solar farm in the Mojave Desert after Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein responded with plans to make the area a national monument. Interior Secretary Ken Salazar has met similar resistance with his plan to fast-track solar development on federal lands because of concerns that the development will disturb the habitat of federally protected wildlife. These issues stem from mandating the use of an energy source before the ramifications are fully understood. Spain's experience with renewable energy should serve as a cautionary tale. President Obama has frequently argued that we should look to Spain as an example of how taxpayer subsidies for renewable energy projects will create so-called green jobs. But economics professor Dr. Gabriel Calzada of Rey Juan Carlos University examined the Spanish policies and advises against adopting their approach. Professor Calzada's study questions the effectiveness of pumping massive subsidies into renewable energy. As the Washington Post reported yesterday, Spain's subsidies for photovoltaic solar power jumped from $320 million in 2007 to $1.6 billion last year. While the Spanish government argues that its subsidies created 200,000 jobs, Dr. Calzada found that for every job the subsidies created, they eliminated up to 2.2 more. Furthermore, only 1 in 10 of the newly created jobs proved to be permanent. Most were created to build infrastructure, but were no longer needed once it was done. I have often argued that there's no free lunch in our response to climate change. Dr. Calzada's study confirms this. He found that each newly created job in the solar industry cost the Spanish government and its taxpayers $855,000. Solar energy did initially thrive in response to Spain's massive government investment. However, in 2008, Spain withdrew the subsidies. With the subsidies gone, the solar bubble burst, and many of the new jobs were eliminated. In other words, the green jobs created by the subsidies proved to be anything but sustainable. The subsidies have also introduced market volatility. Professor Calzada found that Spain's subsidy of solar energy was 500% higher than the market price. While these subsidies thus far only caused modest rises in electricity prices, Spanish government officials are already warning that prices might suddenly jump as the true cost of these renewable energy projects reach consumers. I'm not against solar power. I am in favor of an all-of-the-above approach to energy production that includes solar power, along with wind, coal, hydropower, nuclear power, and increased energy efficiency. But I'm also opposed to government policies that pick winners and losers based on popular sentiments. And I'm opposed to policies that will increase our energy prices. Spain's massive use of government subsidies is not an all-of-the-above approach, but rather an attempt to choose winners and losers. And the one last thing to consider before following Spain's lead on green jobs, Spain's unemployment rate is currently 18.5% and growing. I look forward to hearing from today's witnesses about both the positive and negatives about relying on solar power, and I thank the Chairman for the time.